My damn phone's moving on.
Hey, your phone's ringing, Chilly, is it? Yeah. Welcome to everybody watching on playback, first of all, and watching live to the Solo Cruise Show. And we are so honoured to have our guest with us. And our guest has been promoted. Our guest, the wonderful Shane Riley from Virgin Voyages. Am I correct?
Hello.
You are now Vice President of International Sales for Virgin Voyages.
Yeah, it's funny because the last time we were together, you got my old title wrong and you would promoted me on the video, and you must have put it out to the universe, because even I actually then got promoted. So if you could also put it out now that Shane needs $1 million, that would be great as well.
Shane needs $1 million.
Come on, universe, do your thing.
Send it to PayPal.
See, we are ahead of time, Shane. We really are. But before we carry on, I mustn't forget. I've got to introduce, obviously, Allison in Glasgow and Chillies in Virginia.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, both.
And again, please say hello. Please ask any questions, especially ask Shane any questions about Virgin Voyages. I just explained roughly the format of the show today, so everybody knows. We're going to be talking all about Virgin Voyages very shortly. Later on, Allison, you've got your own regular spot in the show. Can you explain to roughly what you're going to be talking about, please?
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about home ports, cruise ships, home ports. In general, we talk about ports themselves, just if you're doing a day trip. But yeah, a lot of people fly into ports for 2-3 days before they get on the cruise. So just looking at hotels, transport, things to do in the port for 2-3 days before you get on. And today we're looking at Athens, which happens to be one of the home ports for Virgin. So
yes, that's
and Chilly, what are you going to be talking about, please?
Well, I'm going to be talking about the accessibility on, one of Shane's boats, the Scarlet Lady. I've found out a few things. There's 1 in 4 people now have some type of a disability.
Mm-hmm.
And we're making up a major portion of the cruise world now and the travel world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be talking about accessibility a lot. We're going to talk about that today. I had one of my friends that I have promoted on my blog several times was on the Virgin Lady last week, and he says he's been on about a dozen cruises in his lifetime, and Scarlet Lady might be the most accessible ship he's ever been on. So we're going to talk about that. Some got some pictures to share.
So you'll be talking about that, and I'm going to be doing every week the cruise deals, some of the best cruise deals I can find. So I found a couple of cruise deals, obviously, for Virgin Voyages. Shane has no idea what I found, by the way. One of them's really interesting, and also we'll be talking about a cruiser, a good friend of ours, Shelby, who's a regular guest on our shows, is doing as well. That's a very special cruise.
Good.
So, Shane, thank you so much for coming on our show, being our first guest from a solo-friendly cruise line.
Thank you.
Please, can you tell everybody about your wonderful ships and Virgin Voyages and what you do, especially for solo cruisers?
Yes, exactly. So we were lucky enough to obviously be able to design our ships from scratch first and foremost. So one of the stipulations by our president and CEO, Tom McAlpin, when he joined Virgin, he stipulated that he would only join Virgin if we had new build product. So we had a blank canvas to design ships from scratch. So that helped us with we've been able to design ships that are adaptable, that are able to be allow anybody with disabilities to be able to get around the ship. So accessible is a key word for us, because we designed the ships from scratch. So we were able to correct a lot of the mistakes that happen in cruise ship design and be able to do those things. But we really set about creating a cruise product that arguably is for people that wouldn't necessarily consider a cruise, or those people that do love cruising but wanted to eradicate some of those typical cruise annoyances. So we don't have main dining rooms, we don't have traditional buffet style restaurants, although we do have casual dining venues. And we do this year take delivery of our second and third ship. So just like London buses, we wait for them and they all come along at once. So Scarlet Lady, as you know, is already sailing out of Miami. So she's operating short voyages out of Miami. We have her younger sister, Valiant Lady. She'll be joining us in March, actually. So we're on countdown now. Every day I'm on several calls a day talking about the launch of Valiant Lady. And interestingly, she'll actually be coming to the UK first. So she will have a short season from the UK before she then repositions to Barcelona. And then she will offer 7-night itineraries sailing out of Barcelona for the summer, from May through to October. Before she heads back to Miami, or heads over to Miami for the first time, actually. And then if that wasn't enough, in August, we will take delivery of our third ship, which is aptly named Resilient Lady. So we've all had to be resilient over the last 2 years, right? So Resilient Lady will be setting sail in August around beautiful Greek Isles. And Alison will be talking about Athens, very shortly, and so that will be one of our home ports for both this year and next year, as well, as we're already on sale for 2023. So yes, it's a crazy busy time for us, but we're very excited that this year is the year of Virgin Voyages with 2 ships coming our way. So yeah, we'll be a 3-ship fleet, easy for me to say, by August. So that's exciting.
And I will like to add one quick thing, Pete. There is a Facebook user there that happens to be Amigo Martin. You guys all know Martin.
Hi, Martin.
Yeah, that's Martin.
Hi, Martin.
By the way. So I'm just letting you know who that was.
Now, Martin should know how to put his name up by now, shouldn't
Well,
he?
he's on Facebook. He's not on YouTube. So
okay, but you can just add the StreamYard bit to it. DJ Master M. Hey, hi, good vibes. Thank you very much. Okay,
Martin, sorry, just a quick question. As we talk about Martin, Martin's actually got a group on itself that are voyaging with Martin on Virgin Voyages. So he's actually on our Maiden voyage, which is our very first voyage of Valiant Lady, and he's got a great circle, what we call them, a group on board that one. So if anyone wants to join that, get in touch with Martin, because he's working that really good.
Is it Cruise Martin or something? Is it something like that? Yeah. So if you and that's on the Maiden voyage.
That's on the Maiden voyage. Yeah. So Martin will be hosting a lot of people. I'll be on that voyage as well. So I'll be swinging by to say hello to his group as well. So yes.
When is that, Shane?
18th of March.
18th of March. I thought it was soon. Yeah. Excellent.
March. And where's it going? Where's it cruising to, Shane?
And that one's going to Bruges, and we have an overnight in Bruges. So it's very nice, because normally when you go to Bruges, you end up leaving at 4 or 5 p.m. right? So you never really get to see Bruges in the evening. So it's great that you actually get there, dock overnight, and leave in the afternoon the next day. So you can have plenty of waffles, plenty of beer, plenty of chocolate.
Yeah. We had Mr. Bucket List, I saw there. Mr. Bucket List, Justin. So he's been on a cruise. So hi, how you doing? Doing loads of wonderful videos. And you do have a 4th ship coming as well at some point, Shane, yeah?
We do. Funnily enough, there's a meeting in my diary tomorrow to discuss the 4th ship. Because one interesting fact is I don't even know the name of the 4th ship yet. So I'm hoping I'll find that out tomorrow. It's quite late for us, because normally I would know the name of the ship quite far in advance. I knew Scarlet, Valiant, Resilient way in advance. But ship 4, it's weird to be on the ship 4, because normally I'd know the name, or at least a project name or something.
Would you tell us? If you knew it, would you tell us?
No. But I'll find out. Hopefully I'll find out tomorrow, so I'll know. But Cruise with Martin has actually dropped in there that he's got a solo offer at $489 plus $50 onboard credit. And Martin is guiding on that Maiden voyage. So if you are looking to get on board Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady for the first voyage, then Martin. And there's lots of, obviously, it's Maiden, so there's lots of mermaid treats throughout the Maiden voyage. So,
is that from Southampton?
That's from Portsmouth. So
it's Portsmouth. Okay.
Yes, we home port in Portsmouth from the UK.
Excellent.
I mean, it was so. I mean, I remember with the Scarlet Lady, because before everything happened, I was invited for an overnight in Dover.
Yeah,
it was a windy day in Dover.
The worst weather that you could ever experience in Dover. Things
we couldn't even get on for about an hour because of the wind and it's all coming and stuff. But it was so amazing to see the ship for the very first time.
Yeah,
it really was. And of course, after that, everything happened, and so you didn't get to sail.
Yeah, for most people, it was their last outing. And funnily enough, I was on my way to New York for our celebrations. So we were going to New York, and then obviously everything got cancelled, and that was it then. That was the last time I was on a plane for the best part of 2 years. So,
crazy.
5 cabins left. That's Martin, yeah?
Yeah, that's Martin.
So how has it gone, Shane? How now you are out there, your first ship is sailing, Your next 2 ships are about to sail as well. We're going to find out the name of your 4th ship soon. How has it gone in the real world for Virgin Voyages, in these crazy times?
Well, I was having this conversation with someone the other day that, we began sailing in the UK because it was opportunistic. The UK was the home of cruising last summer, right?
Yeah.
It was probably the only place in the world that you could actually start sailing. So we had a few meetings internally, and then within probably 72 hours of the first meeting, we'd decided that the ship was coming to the UK and we needed to get all of the crew back on board, and it was full steam ahead, so to speak. So that was the moment, and we didn't look back from there. And since then, it's gone from strength to strength. So naturally, we're not sailing full. So we're purposely keeping the ship at reduced occupancy. So arguably now's the best time to sail because you've got more space than you might have in the future. And it has gone from strength to strength. We're really proud of it. The fact that Cruise Critic in the USA described us as announced we were the best new ship. So Cruise Critic USA gave us that honor. And then in December, when we were looking at the stats, Scarlet Lady was actually the top rated ship on TripAdvisor. So reviews are phenomenal. The reviews are amazing. And I read a review the other day, and I particularly love this one because it basically told you what Virgin Voyages is not, which I loved, because it said Virgin Voyages is a completely different cruising experience. You don't get on board with and stand in front of a green screen for photographers. There are no photographers on board. There's nobody trying to sell you gold by the inch. There's no annoying talent announcements. So it was really good how they explained it really well.
Yeah.
Of how we've tried to change something and create a different type of cruising experience.
Yeah. And I think every review that I've kind of seen, Shane, has been praising the food and said it's the excellent food and the best they've had.
I've got a little bit of the food.
Yeah, the two things that stand out. Sorry, Pete.
Am I breaking up, by the way?
No, you're okay.
No, you're fine.
I'm okay. Now, Shane, also really exciting. The Apprentice. Talk us about The Apprentice, because the first episode of The Apprentice was on, and they were on board the Scarlet Lady. Yeah. I don't know if you went out anywhere, whether you're still in port or not. And they obviously had to come up with a logo for Virgin for a new cruise line.
Yeah. So
what did you think?
So I was lucky enough. So I was part of the production team. So I was lucky enough to be on board, and we filmed it last summer. So I think it was July or so. Now, as it was a BBC production, I'm obviously limited by what I can say because you do have to sign your life away with non-disclosure agreements for the BBC. It was an amazing experience. One thing I would say about the show is sometimes you kind of see these shows and you do wonder how much of it is manufactured. But I can honestly say it was true from the moment they wake them up at 3 a.m., the full production all the way through. There is no planting. There is no kind of getting them to say certain things. They do truly let it play out. So much so that I couldn't be on the panel of the expert panel because I'd been part of the production. I was looking after the boys team. So because I'd already seen what the boys team had done, I couldn't be part of the panel.
Would you have employed any of them?
Well, I'm actually in touch with a couple of them, and the guys were brilliant. They've had a couple of tough weeks, so I know they lost again this week as well because they designed a terrible toothbrush that was also brown and green.
Brown and green, yeah.
They've had a tough run of it the last two weeks, but those boys are absolutely brilliant. There's some really lovely guys as part of that team, so I had a good week with them, looking after them on board, and they were lovely guys. So I'm really hoping they hopefully they win a challenge some point soon.
Thank you, Daniel. And of course, a certain thing went viral, didn't it?
Oh, gee.
That went viral.
I do remember sitting next to Karen Brady behind the camera as they were designing that logo, and she just looks at me, and I won't tell you what she said, but she chose it was a few choice words that she mouthed to me, and it was a very interesting choice. And it originally didn't have the arms and the foot on it. But it did have promise, because even the designer of it actually made it blue, and they purposely said, no, let's make it brown and green, add a foot and some arms. So I really didn't know where they were going with it. And their thought process was, let's not put the company name on it because everyone will know what it is. But it's a new product, so I'm not quite sure how they thought that was going to work. It was an experience. It was a bit
epic fail.
Yeah, epic fail all around. But then they did it again this week, so I don't know.
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like you said, yeah, they use the same colours and everything. They didn't learn at all, did they? So hopefully they do next week.
yeah, but
It was just extraordinary. Well, I mean, you've got this wonderful logo. You know,
yes,
I mean, that
exactly.
is just so cool,
Thank
isn't
goodness
it?
we're not going to change it. So what to
You know what I mean? So you weren't tempted to
That's
go
how to do a
towards
logo.
that? No, I
but
absolutely
it
agree.
did give us a laugh, didn't it? It did give us an hour of giggles for a start. But I've been in touch with Connor, who got fired this week, and yeah, he's doing really well. He's got some really good plans lined up his sleeve, so he'll do well out of it. So it's good.
Good.
Exciting. And I saw a few comments go through there, Chilly, but they went through quickly, so I couldn't. I'll try and answer them when I get a chance as well. So, Shane, you sent me some wonderful photographs as well, so I'm just going to go through them.
These are not what you call photoshopped or touched up in any way. They're my own vacation pics. So sorry.
Well, I mean, I got that first of all. So,
that's my one.
Oh, that's your one, is it? Okay. So here we go. Obviously, that's the first one. There we go.
Yeah, so we're letting everybody know that obviously this is Scarlet Lady sailing into Portsmouth for the first time. And then we will obviously have Valiant Lady coming into Portsmouth as well. So brilliant, accessible port, an absolute brilliant city. They've actually been amazing to work with. And as we sail out, they even turned the Spinnaker Tower red for us. So they always make it feel special. So it's a brilliant, brilliant port. But one of the things that I do wanted to highlight is a lot of people ask what is my favorite spot on board, and you've just flashed it up and they're giving it away there, Pete. But this is my favorite spot on board the ship. People always ask, where would you go? What's your favorite spot? What's your recommendation? My biggest recommendation is grab a drink, head to your very own balcony, and enjoy the hammock that is on the balcony. Now, a lot of people talked about the hammock, saying, "Oh, they're a gimmick. Who's going to use them?" They're so popular, we actually sell out on board because people want to buy them and they can take one home with them. And the interesting thing about the hammock is they're also doing good for the world as well. So the hammocks are created in association with an organization called Yellow Leaf. And Yellow Leaf actually provides work to ladies in the rural communities of Thailand. So if you get on board and you look at your label, it will tell you the name of the person that actually stitched your hammock for you. So not only is it incredibly comfortable, you can actually lay down. Originally, when I first saw them 4 years ago, when I started with the company, I thought it was just a seat, but it does expand out. You can put your legs on, really relaxed. And I've known a lot of people to actually spend the entire night out there. They've actually slept out there in the Caribbean. Wow. Yeah,
so tempting. Unfortunately, when I was on board, it was Dover, and it was like
you
wind in February.
You don't do that in February. You may come back with frostbite.
Right. These are not in any order, by the way, Shane. So this is how they've all come into it.
Yeah. So this is some of our entertainment. So yeah, don't worry about the order. I'm fine. But this is some of our entertainment on board. Now, I wanted to use this as an example of just how different we designed our theatre space. So, traditionally on a cruise ship, the theatre remains the same throughout the voyage, right? You go in there, it's got tiered seats and the stage, and it's a space that's probably not used for 80% of the voyage. It's only used for either some lectures or some shows at the end. Now, we purposely worked with some creative creative entertainers that wanted to come up with some really unique entertainment for us. But they told us they couldn't do that if we're in a traditional theatre mode. There's only so much you can do if you've just got seats and stage. So we actually created the Red Room, and the Red Room actually transforms a touch of a button. So we can press a button, all the seats can disappear, and it becomes one giant dance floor. And there is a show that happens around that dance floor. Then we also have it in different modes. So if you go back a little bit to the Red Room, you'll see the back to the previous one, this one. And this is actually our show called Dual Reality. Now, Dual Reality is a show that is based roughly on Romeo and Juliet. So it does tell the story of the Capulets and Montagues. And when you go in there, you'll be assigned a red or a blue team. So you will go in there and you're no more than 9 rows away from the action. So it does really give that immersive theatre. And I see the question coming through from Lizzie. Lizzie will be asking if Dual Reality will be on board Valiant, which it will. So good news, the shows will be on board. The Valiant will be on Valiant Ladies, such as Dual Reality. There may be some tweaks to those that you may not have seen previously. So there will be some amends to that. And then we do have some new shows that are coming there as well. So there's some more shows that will be coming to Valiant Lady as well.
You know what's next because I put it up.
Yeah, so you're giving this away. So we, as part of our value proposition, so we include over $600 as standard, right? So we include the tips, the Wi-Fi, the 20 trays, and so much more. We include group fitness classes as well. And a lot of people like me may think, well, group fitness classes, would I ever make the most of them? Would I ever partake in them? Now, this was one of my favorite ones. This is the 80s VHS workout. I actually arrived in here with a drink in hand. So I arrived here, put leg warmers on, a headband, and threw myself into it. It was in the nightclub, so it's not up in the kind of the gym space where you think it might be. And
that's half what it was, yeah.
We just had an absolute ball. So you got the entertainers there leading at the front, and we learned some of the amazing moves, some famous videos of the 80s, and we just had an absolute blast. And we met other sailors that we then met up throughout the ship, and we just had a brilliant time. So it's something that you wouldn't necessarily, you wouldn't think, oh, that is the workout, right? Because it was like entertainment in itself. So I just love that thing because I just think it merges well-being and entertainment so well. So it's really good.
Fantastic. I love it.
And then we talked about dining. So a lot of people ask me where is my favorite venue to dine on board, and obviously with so many restaurants, it's like asking to choose your favorite child, which is frowned upon apparently. This is the Wake restaurant. Now, this is a daytime picture. The Wake is particularly good in the night as well, because you also get some amazing sunset views from here. But we also light up the wake of the ship. So we've got these massive lights at the back of the ship where we can light up the entire wake. So you won't be looking out at a black night. You will actually see the wake of the ship all lit up. And this is our steak and seafood restaurant. Of course, it is included like all of our restaurants, and it is a particular hotspot. Very, very popular. Actually, a little hint for you: it was our most popular restaurant with our UK guests on our UK sailings.
So I need to book it because I'm on board.
Need to book it. Yeah, you didn't. I would say it's a great restaurant for your last night treat. So I would use it as your kind of your last night highlight. Because it is just so well done. It's a beautiful restaurant.
I will do. And
this is an example of Scarlet Night. So Scarlet Night takes place on every voyage, and it will take place on Valiant Lady as well. So Scarlet Night is where the ship is completely activated. The entire ship becomes red, and then we have our octopus friends that do spread up around the ship. You can see our giant octopus there on top deck. And this was just before the party got started on top deck. I just wanted to include it because it's a complete transformation of the ship for that night. It becomes a completely different experience. So it is really good.
Wow, I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah. Again,
back to the food.
And then back to the food. Afternoon tea is one of my personal highlights. So when you get on board, head to Sip, which is our champagne lounge, to book yourself in for afternoon tea because it is great. And there were some treats on there because we'd already eaten them before I managed to take the photo. So something such as a cake with a Virgin Voyages logo on it as well, which is very Instagrammable. And then as part of the experience, we have a lot of things that just happen, right? There's some things that are not scheduled, they just happen, they just pop up. So things like this where the artist was there and you can actually partake in helping complete this canvas. So we'll fill in do all of this canvas. So that's a really good thing to do. And it pops up around the ship. We have different things that pop up, little immersive entertainment. So yeah, great features. So I love it.
I mean, I was lucky enough to have the overnight, and I'll just flick through these very quickly just to give you an idea of some of the food.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a foodie, that's the Impossible Burger.
Impossible Burger.
Your famous Impossible Burger.
Plant-based, no animals ruined in the process, and it's good for you, as good as it can be.
And talking what's good for you, just put this up very quickly as well. You just got to go there, haven't you?
Yeah, Rainbow Churros. Who's that? So I saw Martin's asked a question about reservations. So we are making some tweaks to the app this week that will allow Valiant Lady reservations to be made. So I'll just need to check on the actual date. But this week there is a release for the app, which will mean that our sailors will be able to go in and have a look at their Valiant Lady booking. So that's going to be happening this week. I believe on Tuesday that happens this week.
And your clientele, I mean, when you first started, people weren't sure what kind of age groups are going to be cruising with you. Now you are cruising and you're seeing it for real. What is the average age group, would you say, Shane?
I think we learned a lot, right? So I think people forget that we were launching a completely new brand from scratch. So as much as it's Virgin, obviously Virgin had never done cruise. So we learned a lot from those early days. Those early days, you employ marketing agencies, you employ these people who help you establish your brand. And perhaps they were probably over-indexed in younger, good-looking people and obviously beautiful, sexy marketing. And I think the reality is that probably gave a perception that people thought, okay, this is a 18 to 30s millennial style cruise. And it was never our intention. That's not what we set out to create. In fact, I started 4 years ago with Virgin, and from the very moment I started, it was always about young at heart. That was always the message that we'd always had. It's regardless of what age is on your birth certificate, we always focused on the mentality of almost the Richard Branson mentality that he might be 70, but he'll be the first to dance on the tables. So it was kind of regardless of age. So you have seen a big pivot in the type of marketing that we've been doing, much more focused on the quality and less on the party side of it, although we do, of course, throw some amazing parties. But what we are seeing that since now we've started sailing, typically our sailors are aged between 30 and 65. That's kind of the prime spot. But we've had sailors sailing as young as 96. So we really had, and I've always said to people, it really isn't. We've also had people that have sailed who are younger than that and haven't enjoyed the experience. It wasn't for them. And it just doesn't mean that you're a particular age and you're going to like it or not, right? It is all about a mindset, an outlook on life, and somebody wanting to embrace something different, and also, you know, wanting an experience that is probably more akin to experiences you can have on land rather than going on board and saying, okay, I'm on a cruise ship and therefore these things happen on a cruise ship. Because it is
sometimes
different.
It's the little things, isn't it? Sorry, Chilly. You
I have a politically incorrect question for Shane.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right. The tea time, and I've seen other folks from y'all side of the pond talking about the tea time on the Scarlet Lady.
Yeah.
Now that you're sailing in the States, is tea still popular and tea time still popular over here?
Yeah, it's still popular. Yeah, it's still very popular. So I think people see it on the first day and want to know what it is and then book in. So yeah, it's still very popular. So yeah, it's definitely popular, especially on a sea day. For our day, it's very, very popular. So yeah, definitely so.
One of the little things I really like, by the way, Shane, especially if you've had a party the night before, you know, and you've got to bed a little bit late, as you do, the all-day breakfast that you do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, I just think that's so simple, but so good, because I can't tell you how often I've like, oh, damn, I've got 5 minutes to get to the buffet and I've missed the restaurants. You know what I mean? Exactly. I just want a breakfast because I've partied a little bit too long.
Yeah, exactly. But you won't have even experienced the fact that we've got Ship Eats, which is our room service. So one of the things that I joined the company 4 years ago, as I say, and they basically said to us, can we, what kind of things, because I've been in cruise for 12 years now, and they said, Shane, tell us what annoys you about cruise. And obviously I'd done, by this point, I was up to probably 40 or 50 cruises or something ridiculous. And they said, what annoys you? And interestingly, I said, the thing that annoys me the most is you can go on a luxury product. Yeah, we're doing well. Oh, Mr. Bucket List, we can't wait to have you on board. Thank you. The thing that annoyed me the most is you go on these luxury products and the ships are beautiful, but you'll still walk down a corridor and find a dirty tray with a half-eaten burger or something on it. And it just bugs me. It bugs me the fact that you're on a ship and you're all dressed to the nines, having an amazing time, and you're having to dodge these dirty trays in a corridor. And so, luckily enough, we have experts in our business that were able to come up with an alternative method. So what normally happens if you order Ship Eats, if you order room service, a room service will turn up on a tray, and then you'll eat what you want, and then you'll end up leaving it outside your room. There's cling film involved, there's that cellophane wrapping, all that kind of stuff. So things that are warm are never warm. Things that are meant to be cold are never really cold. So we came up with a new way of doing it. And if you order on Ship Eats, it arrives in a canvas bag. And all of the dishes are stacked on top of each other, almost like you're going camping. It's all stacked on top of each other. And everything comes in flasks. So your tea, your coffee will come in a flask. So everything that's meant to arrive hot comes hot. Everything that's meant to arrive cool is cool. And the best thing about it is when you're finished, you put all the dishes stack on top of each other, put them back in the bag, it clips together, you hang it outside your room on your door, and the thing you see when you walk out the corridors are these tidy canvas bags that are all locked up, and then the bags can be washed as well. So we do all the dishes, we wash the bags, and we start again.
And just to say,
Wow.
the all-day breakfast, by the way, is absolutely perfect for the cruise monkeys.
Yeah.
The cruise monkeys dragged me to 3 o'clock in the morning drinking, and I missed breakfast as well. So they're absolutely perfect for them.
Good.
Your itineraries. I mean, where were the ships going? Because you for Europe, United States, and have you got any new itineraries planned that you might give us a little sneak preview about?
Well, yeah. So Scarlet Lady is sailing year round from the Caribbean. So she's based out of Miami. In not so long, we will be. If anyone's been to Miami Port recently, you may have seen a beautiful building pop up at the end. We've got Terminal V, which is our very own terminal. Which is being launched next month actually. So Terminal V will be open, and it's a beautiful design terminal. So you'll be able to see that if you're in Miami. As you come over the bridge to go over to where the port is, you will see us on the left-hand side. It's the best billboard and advertisement we can have. It's on the best spot. It's level with the port of with downtown Miami. So as you look over, it's actually, you can see the giant Virgin Voyages logo. And then we've got Valiant Lady, as I mentioned. She's sailing from the UK from March to May, and then she'll be heading to the Mediterranean. And then we've got Resilient Lady doing the Greek Isles from August. All of Valiant Lady's itineraries, coincidentally, they all go to Ibiza, and they stay overnight in Ibiza as well on all of those itineraries. So
that's an unusual one. Not many cruise lines go to Ibiza.
yeah, exactly. So all of that is amazing because you can go and enjoy the nightlife. You can go and have a relaxing day at Formentera, for example, head across to Formentera. So there's so many different choices that you can do. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to Ibiza, am I going to have to go and party hard? There's some beautiful places to go to, and there's beautiful spots that you can find to have amazing sunsets there. So you'll be arriving in time for that. So so beautiful. And then actually, there is some inside scoop, and we will be revealing some very nice long itineraries coming soon in the next few weeks. So keep your eyes peeled for those. There's some really nice
long itineraries. That's really
because they are amazing. They're really good. I'm looking forward to revealing those.
Will the new ships have the same accessibility features that Scarlet Lady has?
Yes, so the ships are all ladies. They're all part of our Ladyship series, so they're all the same, if you like. We are making some slight amends because, obviously, as you begin, operating your first ship, you do learn some things and tweak some things. We were able to actually tweak some things for Scarlet because she obviously had that dummy run. We were able to see how it flowed with people in the ship. And then we were able to make some amendments. So, for example, on Scarlet, when she was originally delivered, we didn't have any elevators at the aft of the ship. So we were able to then fit some elevators at the aft of the ship because we said, well, you need them because otherwise you're going to have to go midship or forward. The flow didn't work. And now there was logic behind that. But obviously, until it becomes real life, you don't realize what happens. And then, of course, Valiant Lady is going to be doing longer itineraries. So she's doing 7-night itineraries. And so we are going to be putting some drawers in the cabins. We're going to be putting some more storage in the cabins. Scarlet's going to be doing 4- and 5-night itineraries. So we feel that the cabin storage is actually working really well from the feedback that we've had. But as we've got other ships doing longer itineraries, they obviously need some more storage. So there's a lot of things like that we kind of learn and figure out as we go along. And but aside from that, they are sister ships and they will look the same. And you'll be able to pick an itinerary rather than what's your favorite ship. Because if you love Scarlet, you love Valiant, you love Resilient, and you love Ship 4.
And I think, Chilly, that's a good link for you to talk about the accessibility with Virgin Voyages.
Okay. Well,
and
I have
also stay tuned because I've got some good deals that I've seen, some interesting deals that I've seen from Virgin Voyages.
So it's a surprise for me as it is for anyone.
One's a surprise for me, Shane. I can tell you now. Yeah, big surprise for me.
Yeah. Well, so there's a lot of people that are in our audience that don't know me personally. I've been around this goofy business for since Columbus came across. Actually, my first cruise was in 1978. So I've been playing with this a long time. I am now, I call it mobility challenged, which means I have a disability. I use a scooter on a cruise to get around. I'm the guy that's running over your toes in the elevator.
Doing the wheelies.
I also am now an oxygen user, which as I'm sitting here, I don't have to have the oxygen on. If you see me walking around the ship, I'm going to have the cannula in my nose. And also I have to use a oxygenator at night for sleeping. But I had a friend that was on Scarlet a couple of weeks ago. Corey is his name. And he got up on the bridge with the captain. Beg your pardon?
I was he's taking over then. He's off sailing. Here he goes.
Yeah. He's up there with the captain and gave him a nice tour and showed him around. But one of the things that he found, and this was for those of us that use either wheelchairs or scooters, to have a table that they lift the bench off on one side, which gives us a chance to pull up to the table in a scooter or a wheelchair, is just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
You don't find that on hardly anywhere. So hats off to you guys for coming up with that idea. And then at Bimini, Bimini is laid out. I don't know if this was Bimini or y'all's private island.
Yeah.
But the beaches are accessible for a wheelchair user as well. As you can see there, the reason I use this picture, it's a mat that comes out that you can take a wheelchair or a scooter right down on the sand. Obviously, if you get off in the sand, you're liable to mire up, and that can cause problems for those. I mean, I'm lucky. I'm just partially disabled. I can actually get off my scooter and walk a little bit. I can't walk. I couldn't walk from where Corey is there back to the bar, for instance. That would put me under the sand. But anyway, yeah, that's how they do it. And I'm not sure if that particular picture was Bimini or y'all's private island.
That looks like Bimini. Yeah, it looks like Bimini.
Okay. And then that was just another picture of Corey going through one of the. I think that's still on Bimini. So, but anyway, he said that in all the years that he's traveled and cruised, and he's done numerous cruises, the Scarlet Lady is the most accessible ship he's ever been on.
Good. And you know what? One of the main reasons for that is the fact that we work with people that were, that are wheelchair users, or, they do have a particular mobility issue, because it's all well and good for able-bodied persons to think, right, this is what needs to happen. But you don't think about that could be a simple thing like leaving one side of the bench off, or those kind of that, you look at it and think, well, that's an obvious thing. Why isn't that happening more? And so to make sure you've got the right people to be able to help you advise, and look, we're not perfect. We've got things that we will adapt and tweak in the future, but without a doubt, we are, I think, going to say from your friend is Sale, they're doing a great job in that space, and it's something that's really important to us. And Virgin is always about inclusivity, regardless of ability, regardless of whatever gender, sexual orientation, regardless. Virgin is about, you can come on board our ship and feel like you're in a safe place and you're going to have an amazing time, and you're surrounded with like-minded people, because people who choose Virgin have got a particular mindset, right? So
I mean, that's really good to know, because a lot of people wouldn't even think about that. In a second, Alison, I'd like to get to you talking about Athens, which is one of the home ports, but I'm just going to go very quickly through some of the cruise deals that I found with Virgin Voyages, and this is in 2023. This is your 4 nights fire and sunset.
Yeah, so this gets to go to Bimini. That Chillies friend was just showing us pictures of as well. So right now, those itineraries are scheduled to go to Key West. So as you may know, Key West has been a port of call that's been a lot of contention. So the residents of Key West are not fans of cruise ships visiting right now. So currently Key West is suspended on our itineraries, and we've swapped it out with Nassau, Bahamas. And we will only go to a port of call where people want to see us. So we will continue to look at that. But look at the value for money there. That is incredible. So obviously on our website, you can book this in pounds. In the UK, there are UK travel agents that can help you with it as well. But yeah, incredible value for money. And bear in mind what is included. So you've got over 20 restaurants included. You've got your tips included, your Wi-Fi, group fitness classes, so much included with the value for money. And bear in mind, this adult-only experience.
And not only that, it's $952. I did it from the American for this one, yeah. But if you pay beforehand, you get a 10% discount off that as well.
You do, yes. So if any of our voyages, if you actually pay if you book and pay in full outside of 180 days, which is roughly 6 months, then you do get an additional 10% saving, which I always say is important because you're definitely not getting 10% interest in the bank right now. So it does make sense to pay in full to take advantage to get that 10%.
Well, the next cruise, the next ones are going to be in English pounds, by the way, and I'm almost speechless. And you'll see why in a minute. First of all, this is the cruise.
Oh, nice.
It's a nice one, right?
Yeah.
This is April 23. Yeah. It's 11 nights transatlantic from Puerto Rico. It goes via the Canaries into Portugal. Yeah. This gives you an idea of the itinerary.
Yep.
And I love the maps, but now I'm going to put the price. This is the price from English pounds to get this cruise. Yeah. You ready for it? We know what's included.
It's crazy.
Wow.
£896
So
for
that's
a
like
solo.
$1,200.
Before it goes down by 10% to eight. I'll put that up again. I was honestly thinking, has the website gone wrong? Have I done it incorrect? It's Solo Insider. It says solo sailor for one. I've got everything correct there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then as you say, if you're paying full, you click the apply button, and then you pay within 2 hours. So if you're paying full within 2 hours, that's it. You've got the voyage with an extra 10% off. And you're definitely not getting 10% interest, as I say. And then your bank's 10% is not happening. So
I mean, that includes is just an outstanding deal to experience Virgin Cruise Line, and it's great for all our American friends and our UK friends and our European friends. Is one transatlantic flight. And before the last thing I want to talk about is our lovely friend Shelby. And it's travelfunbiz.com, by the way, is her website. She has a group together, and she is cruising with Richard on his birthday bash, July the 17th.
That'll be a fun one.
It will.
Yeah. And of
so
course,
will you be over there with Richard for his birthday?
Well, I'm not currently scheduled to be on board, but I think I might change that, and we'll find a way to be on board to celebrate with him as well.
Richard, if you are watching, by the way, you know
he is.
We are free that week. You know,
we're all available. We can all come over, Richard. We're also willing to, because we're selfless. We're willing to tag on a week at Necker Island afterwards, aren't we, guys?
Because I'm owed by you, Shane. Virgin Voyages owes me, because when I got on the cruise on the ship in Dover, you gave me this world tour.
And he didn't leave Dover.
I've never left Dover. So I'm owed my world tour.
I've actually got the mug somewhere. Where have I got that? I've got the mug somewhere of that tour, and where Scarlet was meant to be going, but obviously because everything got cancelled because of the pandemic, it's now a collector's item because we only went to the first few ports. We didn't go to New York or Miami, so
is that going to be worth some money? Is it?
Yeah, it's going to be worth some money. Yeah, they're going to be worth some money if we never got there in the end.
And this is the wonderful Shelby. Shelby is. We hope that she's going to come live with us with Richard as well.
She's in the house.
Yeah, good. So get in touch with Shelby without a doubt, because I know you'll have a great time. I've seen Shelby on before.
It's going to be one fun cruise, I think, isn't it?
Really good time.
It is. Yeah. And right, Allison, as we said, one of the home ports for Virgin Voyages is Athens.
Athens, fantastic. Athens, which I've been to. I don't think Shane, I assume you've been to Athens before, but you and Chillies have. I've been a few times as well. I absolutely love Athens, one of my favourite European cities. Love it. It's becoming a popular home port, I think, for cruise lines. It's becoming more and more popular. So, we're just going to be taking a look at, if you're flying in 2-3 days into Athens, things that you can do.
And I've got some photographs. I'm going to flick through like I did with Shane. They're not in any order, so just go through them quickly as well, please.
So that's the little fun train that a lot of European cities have these. So 40 minutes, it goes round the Acropolis, Temple of Zeus, etc. Hop on, hop off. 40 minutes, I think it's about €10 or something. And there, of course, is the one of the most famous sites in Athens, the Parthenon on the Acropolis site. It's a must-see. Obviously, when you go to Athens, I think if you don't do anything else, one thing you can't miss it anyway. I think from a lot of places you are in the city, it's there. have
We're
to
getting
go
lots
to
of offers, by the way, to help carry
Okay.
bags, bin suitcases, and things like that from Lizzie and from Martin. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Okay, I'll carry on, Vic.
Yeah, so Athens has a fantastic transport system, I think, and it's very, very affordable, really cheap. So they have the metro system, the tram system that you have there, and the buses. So yeah, they pretty much go from the airport, you can go into the city, down to the port, right the way along the coast, the beach area, and they have fantastic, the transport system, really cheap. So wherever you want to go, if you're coming from the airport, if you're staying in the city, take the metro line. Change in the city, if you're going down to Piraeus, about 20 minutes, I think, on the metro. Or say you can head down to the port. There's also a tram line which goes all the way from the port down to the beach area down at Vula, which is great all the way along the coast. That was one of the hotels I stayed in near Plaka, and that was the Parthenon lit up at night. As I say, if you're kind of staying around that area, the Plaka, Monastiraki, you can fail to see the Acropolis and the Parthenon.
You see, this is the beauty of why you cruise. You know, with Virgin, to go to these wonderful home ports and spend a few days in there.
Absolutely. And I would recommend, if you can, not everybody can or wants to, but if you can spend 2-3 days before or after your cruise at one of the home ports and take a look around. So Athens has lots and lots of theatres, as you can imagine. That was one close to the Acropolis. And it's just, this is, if you're going to, apart from going to the Acropolis, the one other thing you must do is go and see the Panathinaikos Stadium. It's the original Olympic stadium for the modern Olympics. Really cheap to get into. I think it's about €10. It's the only stadium in the world made entirely of marble. If you're feeling energetic, you can run around the track, and they have a podium at one end that you can get your photos taken in. But just to the right there, you'll see the tunnel. So if you go in there, and that's where the competitors would have come down, and again, it's entirely made of marble, the roof and the floor of it's all lit up. They've got a museum at the back, and right at the back, they've got the history of the whole of the modern Olympics, all the cities and everything that's taken place in, and the actual podium there's the tunnel that you can go up, it's all lit up, and right at the back of that is the museum, and they have the actual podium where the previous host city changes flames. There it goes with the new home city. So yeah, it's fantastic for €10. It's just incredible. And I find in general Athens, all the places you go in Athens are incredible value. So this was taken on the Acropolis site as well, looking down to that building there looks fairly modern, and amongst it all is the Acropolis Museum. So my hotel was literally just right next to that. And on the left of it, you've got the Acropolis metro station. So that's how close you are to everything. Well worth a visit. So that's looking down to the Temple of Zeus. It's only about, if you're staying in the Plaka sort of area, you're only 5-10 minutes walk down there. There's quite a number of sites, depending on where you're staying, that you can visit really easy in Athens. But again, if you're not walking, the little train goes past all those. But Athens, again, is really, really, so that's the view from Temple of Zeus looking back up to the Acropolis. If you stay in Athens for a few days, we do a tourist card. So you pay one price and it lets you into a number of these sites. So if you've got a few in mind, have a look at the tourist card and you might find yourself, you save yourself quite a bit of money. This one now, I didn't know about this until one of my friends, my good friends who actually lives in Athens, told me about it. So Athens has a funicular railway. It only takes 3 minutes. And it goes from, I think it's from Lykivatos Hill, I might not be saying that right, which is the highest point in Athens. So if you get to the funicular site, 3 minutes, it goes inside the kind of hill and come out at the top. There's a fantastic restaurant up there. You get amazing views of the city. It's far higher up than the Acropolis Hill is. You can see right down to the port. And there's a little church up there, and there's actually, so yeah, that bit of a misty day, so that's looking across to Acropolis Hill from that point, and there's a fantastic sort of walk back down to St Agnes Square from there. That's one of the beaches. That's down at Vula Beach, down in that kind of area. So Athens has some fantastic beaches. So if you don't want to stay in the city, you want to be a little bit out of it, but still get access to the city, then I definitely kind of recommend staying down at the beach area. And you can get to the port really easily from there. There's a tram line. You can see from there the tram lines right along the coastway, right into the port. So yeah, as I say, Athens.
So there you go. So before you jump on Virgin Voyages ship, you can have a wonderful time.
Yeah.
You know, Shane, thank you so much for being our first guest.
Thank you. It's my honor. Thank you so much.
And everybody out there, keep your eye. We're going to find out this new itinerary, this new longer itinerary that's coming soon, and the name of the 4th ship as well. So
maybe
exciting
I'll have to pop back on to reveal the two things. Yeah, I'll pop back on and reveal the 2 things.
That'll be good.
That'll be one.
Good.
Absolutely fantastic. Shane, thank you so much for being our guest.
Pleasure.
Obviously, thank you so much, Chillie. Thank you so much, Alison. And especially thank you, everybody who's watching. Yeah. And next week, we're going to be talking about river cruising, by the way, just to give you the heads up about that. It's all going to be about river cruising and how you can cruise solo on a river cruise as well. But in the meantime, I know Mr. Bucket List has just booked a cruise.
Fantastic.
And I'm sure if you see that transatlantic deal from Puerto Rico, I'm just wow. I mean, I am just I'm just shocked by that, Shane. I really am. What a wonderful.
It won't be around for long. They'll go up in price. So make sure you grab it while you can.
Grab that one. Absolutely grab it. So again, thank you everybody for watching. And we will see, hopefully, everybody next week as well. So cheers, folks.
Okay, bye.
Stay with us.